Today we're experiencing the very best and very worst of an airline the frequent flyers in the know seem to love. We'll try a very local meal and an attempt at a very foreign meal. We'll experience warm service and, well, Russian-style service. We will land in horrendous conditions and be crammed onto a bus, and we will spend the evening at a lounge that some would say is very nice. In a region that is often forgotten lies an airline gem that connects people from Europe to Asia on its small fleet of aircraft. Until today, I have never flown them despite flying over 170 different airlines, but now, after forgiving myself for flying them without actually traveling to their home country beyond the airport, it is time to see if this massively hyped airline lives up to expectations. What is it? Air Astana, the national carrier of Kazakhstan. Let's see what we think. In case you've never seen my face before, I'm Dan, and for context, I've flown over 200 different airline premium products and have reviewed airlines for close to 12 years at this point. With that, let's jump to the starting point of today's adventure. Good afternoon, guys. It's a very rare day here on the channel when I get to fly an airline that I've never flown before, but not only that, an airline that is so highly praised and widely loved, and I have had no opinion of because I haven't been able to try them until now. They've been trying to get me to fly them for years. I've been very lucky to receive multiple invitations, but as you guys know, all my reviews are self-funded with no airline involvement, so I booked a good deal I finally found on Air Astana, and of course, I haven't let them know I'm going to be on board. So I'm going to really dive in. And does Air Astana live up to the name a lot of people give it of the world's most underrated airline? Or are those statements a bit overhyped? Today I'm flying from Dubai to Mumbai with a big detour via Kazakhstan, namely Almaty. So let's go to the gate. Why the detour instead of flying direct? Partly for the fun of flying Air Astana, of course, and partly because I found an outrageously good cash ticket that I'll discuss later. As a nav geek, is there any better feeling than seeing your plane coming into land? I really don't know if there is. There's something so fun about getting to see the full circle from when it pulls into the gate, gets turned around, and then pushes back with you on board. The plane spotting is crazy this time of day at Terminal 1, so even though our boarding is delayed by 45 minutes, I barely notice. Our beauty, this relatively young 767, looks ready to go back home. The Air Astana 767-300 comes in a two-class configuration with a much-loved economy in a world-leading 232 layout and the 30-seat staggered business class cabin in front of that. Here there are 7 rows in the center with seats that alternate sides, while there are 8 rows by the windows offering seats that are closer to the aisle or closer to the window. As I always say, you want to choose the odd-numbered rows, the ones closest to the window for most privacy, but today I've actually opted for 8 Alpha, a row that's closer to the aisle to ensure no one's behind me as I record. Turns out that's not the best move since the people in row 1 of economy are not only coughing and sneezing the whole flight, but listening to music without headphones. The joys of flying in 2026, huh? Maybe row 1 is actually the way to go. There are 2 lavatories for business class, resulting in a ratio of 1 toilet to 15 passengers, and with that, let's finally hop on board. At 2:20 p.m., 20 minutes after our scheduled departure, business class is welcome to board, and you guys, I knew to expect a modern 767, but nothing prepares you for this. Mood lighting, as Delta knows very well, can make any aircraft look brand new.
Wow, it's very nice.
Sorry, I couldn't resist last time in this video, I promise. In the middle, there is 1 seat in each row that is surrounded by 2 large storage surfaces, which actually makes them the most private and spacious in this whole cabin because, as you can see, along the windows, all seats feature an armrest on one side and a storage surface on the other. This is row 7, a great place to sit as well, and behind that, my seat 8 Alpha. Although these staggered types of seats are common and not exactly industry leading, the mood lighting makes the cabin look freaking impressive. To my left, there are some seat controls and a hidden mini remote. Above that, we have conveniently placed global charging as well as a USB-C port and headphone jack. There's another USB-A port and headphone jack on the side of our entertainment screen, so plenty of charging options. We've also got a storage pocket below the screen and another cubby that's essentially under the seat of the person in front of you. Welcome on board, guys. They are playing gorgeous Kazakh music. I assume it's some music. It's gorgeous. Now there's an announcement. We were given a choice of lemonade, champagne, water, or cherry juice. And you guys know how I love when there's some sort of regional flair to the welcome beverages. So cheers. Oh, smells amazing. Americans, you guys would love this. Oh, wow. It's like candy juice. Sticking to showing Kazakhstan's flavors, etc., the safety video is stunning and obviously educational for those of us who have not been lucky to travel to Kazakhstan yet. I'm glued to my screen as this plays, which is tough because I also want to look out as we push back. A feast for the eyes wherever you look. As we taxi out, they're playing gorgeous music to set the vibe. I take this chance to peruse the menu, and come on, how insane is this for a 4-hour flight? The drink list is even more impressive. Just have a look at that champagne. Now let's lock in. AvGeeks activate. We are all set to go to Kazakhstan. My eSIM is installed, so I'll have data when I land, which for me now is an essential whether I'm heading to a destination or on transit. I don't trust airport Wi-Fi. A lot of the time you still need a weird OTP that only gets delivered to local numbers, and we all know that our local data providers from back home are going to charge us, I don't know, $50 per gigabyte. Today's video sponsor, Saily, can get us data for as little as $3.99. I know you've probably heard me talk about Saily before, but there are a few things they've introduced since last time that are pretty amazing. First of all, you can now get unlimited data through Saily in certain destinations. Not that you really need it, because I find that their data lasts way longer than any other data packages I've tried. And even more epic, they have introduced Saily Ultra, a monthly pass to data in 121 destinations where you not only get 30 gigabytes of data per month, you also get airport lounge access, fast track service, free access to NordVPN and Incogni, among other things, a delayed flight benefit, monthly US Uber credits, and way more. I think that might be the best data deal out there for frequent travelers. Saily also couldn't be easier to use because you just install the eSIM once and then you just keep topping it up with new destinations wherever you go around the world. It's so easy, and you can check out Saily today at the QR code right here or by going to the link at the top of the description right now. All you need to remember is who referred you? Nonstop Dan, that's right. So when you're getting your first eSIM on your next trip, use that code to save 15%. First things first, the amenity kit is from Diesel. Wow. Yeah, I can't really wait to open this because I can count on one hand the times I've received an amenity kit on a sub 4-hour business class flight. The contents are awesome. A pen, yes please. Socks that are unfortunately now untrendy, but still kind of cool to get since ankle socks are rare in amenity kits. Overall, a lovely kit. As you noticed earlier, Astana has an in-flight magazine, and you know which pages I immediately look for. So we are starting out the in-flight service with a hot towel that is so strongly scented. Why is it giving me like Abercrombie and Fitch 2014, 2013? That's the scent that this has, but oh, it's nice and chilly in the cabin, so this hotel just, it hits right. Our in-flight service, guys, is starting out with a Paloma Mocktail. This sounded so good. I love the glasses Astana uses. The rich texture is stunning. So let's see, I'm hoping to get through quite a few of the different mocktails on this flight. I could go for cocktails, but this is healthier, let's pretend. Oh wow, this is really the definition of a mocktail because they're still trying to make it taste like alcohol. That's actually really, really good and really unique. And then we also got a mix of nuts, some hazelnuts, cashews, and almonds. Hazelnuts. Before the meals are served, let's run to the lavatory and check that out. Okay, so a little peek in the lavatory. I usually don't narrate in here. This looks really weird, but I thought it would be fun to give you my impressions on the spot. So we have flowers, beautiful classic flowers. We have a variety of Air Astana products. No frills, but also not too bad. As I leave, I ask the crew if there's Wi-Fi on board since Google Gemini said there should be, and the response? No. Okay then. So it's meal time. About an hour after takeoff, this is being served. So we're starting out with an appetizer, a side of honeycomb with various cheeses, and this gorgeous saffron cake for dessert. One thing that I was very disappointed by on Air Astana, if I have to bring up one thing, is that they don't allow you to pre-order meals, special meals on so many flights. So I was not able to pre-order a VGML, vegan meal, on this flight, which is quite rare, I would say, on a flight that's scheduled to be over 4 hours. I wish Air Astana would consider implementing that because it doesn't seem very complicated, especially given that this is catering out of their hub, so they could just fly the meal back and forth like to anywhere else. So I think only certain flights allow you to select special meals on Air Astana, which is really important to be aware of if you want to eat. I knew this beforehand. I decided to take the flight anyway, but obviously if you follow a special diet and you can't get food that follows your diet, then it's sort of a deal breaker, right? I'm gonna pick at what I probably can eat here though, like the dolma and the walnut. Oh my god, guys, I'm cracking up. They just brought by this little, well, a selection of bread from a bread basket. So this looks quite special, right? With sesame seeds, something interesting in the middle. Looks like maybe cheese. So I asked her, what is this bread, please? She goes, bread. And I'm like, yes, I understand it's bread. She didn't explain any further. So we have some nice hot rolls though. Let's dig in. So our main course is here basically 5 minutes after the appetizer was served. So I'm very impressed by the tempo that they're managing to keep here. I have the arancini, mushroom arancini from the menu. So unfortunately, since this is stuffed to the brim with mozzarella, I cannot eat it, but you know, I'm giving you guys a look. You see the spinach underneath is maybe not the most inspired, but I mean, yeah, what am I supposed to say? It's a 4-hour flight, so it's very impressive. Again, although the meal wasn't the flashiest, having a separate appetizer and main along with all those other dishes on a flight this length is remarkable. Before the sun sets, let's also recline because should we be worried about the 767 width when it comes to bed mode? Okay, the 767 is a narrow plane and you can tell when you recline. The seat is really well padded, I'll say that. It's also a nice plush pillow, a good blanket. Unfortunately, no individual air vents, but the cabin is nice and cool. But yeah, this is obviously not the most spacious bed because of the aircraft we're on. Your feet are sort of stuck in a cubby below, but if I was really tired and it was a red eye, of course I'd be more than happy to sleep here. It gets dark shortly after, so I spend the rest of the flight rewatching White Lotus Season 2, and wow, it's almost better the second time. The entertainment system as a whole is actually really good with decent quality headphones to match. We've got almost 200 episodes of TV shows and 169 movies to choose from. The crew also passed through the cabin every 20 to 30 minutes offering drinks until we start our descent and the pilot comes on the PA telling us the temperature in Almaty is, well, very concerning. We end up touching down 30 minutes behind schedule and taxi to, what's this? Oh my god, we have a bus gate. It's negative 16 Celsius outside. I was not ready for this. Cannot believe the cold we are about to experience. I'm not gonna lie, it's slightly disappointing there's not a separate bus for business class passengers, but even if there isn't, that's not an excuse to shove people into the bus to the point where no one can move an inch. As a bonus, at least half of the people on the bus are coughing and sneezing, making for one lovely cold sharing bus ride. Is there an option to walk to the terminal? I think I'd rather just freeze and take that. Nonetheless, we make it and I head to transit, which feels weirdly unofficial even though Air Astana sells a lot of transit tickets. Oh my god, guys, I'm on such a high right now. That adrenaline rush of being in a place you've never been before. And not only that, but it's so beautiful and modern. I know they got a new airport a couple years ago, terminal, whatever this terminal is, but it's beautiful and it's Christmas and I'm in Kazakhstan. What? I'm literally on cloud 9 for an hour, walking around and exploring the terminal and taking it all in. Oh wow, this is so fun, but I can't buy souvenirs if I don't enter the country because it doesn't count. Eventually, I head to the lounge, and how beautiful is this? It is definitely on the smaller side, but given that Air Astana is also on the smaller side, that makes sense. The buffet is pretty extensive as well, with a big focus on Central Asian food. I made it to the lounge. I expected them not to have a lot of good food here, which turns out to be the case. Good food if you don't eat meat, which is very prevalent in Central Asia. So I was delighted to find this vegan pasta salad that looks amazing. It has loads of dill, so I'm thinking this is also a Kazakh style pasta salad. It's so funny how Central Asia, Russia has so much in common with Sweden. Swedes don't realize this. These flavors are 100% Swedish flavors. I've been moving around the lounge a bit. I'm very tired, but it's time to head to the gate for another 5-hour flight onwards to Mumbai. So let's go check that out. I head to the gate at my scheduled boarding time, and only then do I realize my flight is delayed, so back to the lounge we go. There I start watching Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein and almost forget about my flight, but luckily I don't fully miss it and get stranded overnight, which would be a bit inconvenient. As luck would have it, this flight is departing from a bus gate 2. This is a bit funny. It said my flight was delayed 25 minutes, but when I got to the gate, it was like final call, but now all these other people have showed up, so I guess we'll get a slightly emptier bus but be the last to board. As you can tell by the smoke coming out of my mouth, it's cold. We wait with the bus doors wide open like this for 10 minutes. Finally, we leave and pull up to our aircraft to Mumbai, this 5-year-old A320neo. I won't be making a seat map for this cutie. Let's hop on board and I will show you around instead. So welcome to the Astana A320neo. I'm really glad we were upgraded from a A320ceo that would be slightly older to this A320neo, and it will be a bit more quiet, but I will say you can't really tell that the cabin is very new. The seats feel very dated and the padding frankly is just not great. It feels like you're sitting on a cardboard box almost with some seat-like wrapping, and there's a pillow. And when we got on board, I asked if I could move to the first row because business is empty. I was the last to board, and they said no, they charge extra for the first row, which is very interesting on a narrow body since there's not much of a difference. I just wanted to do it so that no one would recline onto me, but it's fine. We've settled in. I've got a cherry juice to drink, the same diesel amenity kit, and they've just handed out iPads, so I'm sure this will be good, but it's crazy that this is the long flight out of the two. On a positive note, the seats have adjustable headrests. Actually, even economy has that, which is great. We've also got a footrest and this nifty strap that functions as our iPad holder. The iPad that Astana provides offers a massively scaled back entertainment selection compared to the IFE on their 787, and worst of all, there is no in-flight map. You gotta wonder why they chose not to install screens on these aircraft. There is plenty of fun stuff to see outside for now though, like my first de-icing of the season. Our departure route takes us all the way west to Shymkent before we start turning south, at which point the Z-Bot sign is turned off and we are given another one of those heavily scented hot towels. So I'm on to my third Air Astana. I'm like, which airline am I on? It's getting late, guys. I'm on to my next mocktail, the Bellini from the menu. Let's see how this is. Does not look like Bellinis you get on other airlines, but oh wow, very peachy. Oh, very nice. And I love that we get little mini pretzels. I'm like delirious at this point. It's past my bedtime. Shortly after, my meal is served. This time an Indian vegetarian meal I was able to pre-order on this route. What do you think? I guess the small portion reflects the time of day. I'm also excited to try that bread, but it turns out to be quite stale. For dessert, I'm offered a selection from this tray of, may I say, not the most exciting looking desserts. I nibble on the fruit, which I have with a chamomile tea as I get ready to sleep. It has been quite a while since I took a red-eye flight as a red-eye refuser, especially in a recliner seat like this, so I'm shocked to discover that despite these seats having almost no recline, I managed to sleep for a good 2 hours thanks to the sturdy headrest which keeps me upright. My inner Frankenstein comes out a little bit when they start preparing for landing 45 minutes before touchdown by taking my blanket. Why? I do take this chance to use the lavatories, and like the cabin, don't these feel a bit older than just 5 years? Anyway, we touched down in Mumbai at 4:08 a.m. What a time of day to be flying. And as we get to the gate, as if to taunt me, we pull into an Emirates A380 that tells me you could have just flown me direct, you know? Thanks, I know, but honestly, this was worth the adventure. Is Air Astana, in my opinion, one of the world's most underrated airlines, or is that a bit of an exaggeration? How much did I pay for this ticket? Because that really influences my perception of an experience, of course. And for 9 hours of business class flying, I paid just $660 from Dubai to Mumbai, which I have to say is an incredible deal and one I would gladly repeat. Based on these experiences, I can agree that Air Astana is a surprisingly premium airline, considering that it operates in a region without a lot of premium competition. I thought the 767 was comfortable, and given that Air Astana doesn't operate very long flights, the seat is more than good enough. The amenity kit and the drink selection also stand out as highlights of Air Astana. Now, there are a few things that make me hesitant to call Air Astana one of the world's most underrated airlines, namely that the service on both my flights and on the ground was quite cold. There weren't really any smiles, there wasn't any personalization like calling you by name, and although that doesn't come natural in a lot of parts of the world, it is an important pillar of a premium airline. Another element I personally find disappointing is that special meals are not offered on all flights, even flights of 4+ hours like the flight from Dubai to Almaty, and when I did get a special meal on the second flight with catering out of their hub, I didn't find that especially impressive. I also think the high prevalence of bus gates in Almaty is a problem, especially in the winter when it's freezing. What do you think of Air Astana? Let me know in the comments below, and until I see you in the next video, don't forget to hit thumbs up below. It takes 1 second, and subscribe. It's free and helps support the channel, and fly safe.